Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that literally changes lives, but crazy enough, it's a lesson most of us never get taught. We're talking about how to actually stop relying on a paycheck and start building real, lasting financial freedom using the stock market. We'll be drawing on some brilliant insights from Andy Tanner to see exactly how everyday investors are turning the stock market from a passive gamble into a serious, powerful tool for active income and independence.
All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll be rethinking traditional retirement. Then we'll cover the shift to ownership, define some key cash flow strategies, and finally, map out your very first investment steps. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Rethinking Traditional Retirement, or as I like to call it, the trap of hope and wait.
So for the vast majority of people, investing is essentially a hope-based system, right? You put your money in, you cross your fingers, and you wait 30 or 40 years, basically praying that the market just happens to be up when you finally need to retire. But let's be real, crossing your fingers isn't exactly a reliable financial strategy. This traditional approach actually delays your wealth. It keeps you indefinitely tied to your employer simply because your investments aren't paying you a single dime today.
You know, we're all taught that passive retirement accounts, like your standard 401ks, are the absolute safest vehicles. But they actually have these hidden, wealth-destroying pitfalls. Think about it. They rely entirely on hoping prices rise. And worse, invisible fees and just average market returns are actively eroding your purchasing power over time. You might look at your statement and think your money is safely growing, but the reality is much bleaker when those hidden costs are quietly eating away at your future freedom.
Which brings us to Section 2, the shift to ownership. We're moving from just being a saver to becoming a true asset owner.
There is a massive psychological shift that has to happen here. Think about the difference between an amateur saver and a professional owner. The amateur is basically just a market participant. They're rolling the dice, guessing, and hoping for the best. Real investors, on the other hand, prioritize financial education over guessing. They don't just park their money and walk away. Instead, they build the skills to actively manage and generate returns from the assets they truly own. It's a fundamental shift in how you view your money.
Take a look at this comparison. The difference is literally night and day. On one side, traditional saving focuses entirely on capital gains through passive vehicles like 401ks, which results in delayed wealth. Active cash flow strategies, however, focus entirely on income, using tools like dividends and options, and the result? Immediate cash flow. I mean, you want a system that pays you now, right? Not one that might, maybe, pay you decades from now.
And that leads us to this core principle. Financial freedom happens when your passive income meets or exceeds your monthly expenses. That's it. Financial independence isn't about hitting some arbitrary $2 million goal or just hoping you have enough in the bank to scrape by. It's a simple, beautiful mathematical equation. The exact day the cash flow coming in from your assets beats your living expenses, you're free.
Let's move on to Section 3, Cash Flow Strategies Defined. It's time to demystify the actual tools we use to do this.
You see, professional investors prioritize building recurring cash flow over just sitting around waiting for price gains. They aren't biting their nails watching a stock ticker bounce up and down every day, praying for a price spike so they can finally sell. No way! They want their assets to act exactly like a business that produces regular, predictable, recurring revenue.
So first up is dividend investing. This is really the ultimate expression of ownership. When you buy a stock, you're buying a piece of an actual business. Earning a dividend means you're getting a share of that company's profits simply by owning a quality company. You don't ever have to sell the stock to get paid. The company literally cuts you a check from their profits just for holding the asset. Next, we have covered calls. Now, I know the word options can kind of scare beginners, but a covered call is just an option strategy used to create extra income streams from an asset you already own. Think of it like renting out a house. You own the stock, and by selling a covered call against it, you collect a rental premium from another investor. It's safe because it's completely covered by the stock you already hold in your portfolio. And when we combine those two concepts, we get income stacking. This, right here, is the holy grail. Income stacking means generating multiple recurring streams of cash flow from the exact same asset. You buy a quality company, you collect the dividend, and then you sell covered calls on that exact same stock. You're pulling multiple reliable streams of income from one single investment without having to buy a single additional share. How cool is that?
All right, Section 4, your first investment steps. Let's build your blueprint.
Here are the specific steps you need to take. Step 1.
Get financial education and mentorship. Education should always precede guessing in the market. You want to utilize clear frameworks, like Andy Tanner's Power of Six concept, to really learn the ropes step by step. Step 2. Focus on cash flow over price. Stop obsessing over daily stock prices and start measuring the actual income those stocks generate. And Step 3. Stack those income streams. Combine those dividends and options to absolutely maximize your payouts.
Now, if you want to truly accelerate your results, you've got to seek out active mentorship, build reliable systems rather than just trading on raw emotion, and commit to consistent skill building. Building these professional habits will speed up your journey to financial freedom far faster than just dumping money into a retirement account and hoping for the best.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty provocative question. If your paycheck stopped tomorrow, how long would your assets pay your bills? It's a tough question for sure, but a totally necessary one. We have to stop relying on hope, stop depending entirely on an employer, and start building your own recurring cash flow. Get educated, shift your mindset, and start stacking those streams. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now get out there and start building your financial freedom.